Last night I came to a very interesting insight regarding life. I was also on the subject of contemplating manifestation, law of attraction, all of that stuff. And what I realized, and I'm not claiming this as truth or as fact, I don't even know if I can actually prove this, but what I realized is that the more present to the moment that you are, the more you are enjoying the moment, the better your life gets. And because of the way that we experience life and the way that energy works, and if you experience an emotion, an elevated emotion, the likelihood that you're going to attract something based on that is very high. Whether it is an insight, whether it is a relational experience, an object experience, whatever it is, the reality is you're far more likely to experience that. And so I've realized that I love the things that I am creating in my life. I love the things that I am setting goals for and pursuing. But I'm also realizing that I'm chasing a future rather than just being present to the moment. And there is such thing as goal setting. There is such thing as having an idea for what it is that you want to create and having a path towards that. But I'm realizing also that I've been so focused on the future that oftentimes it has taken me away from the present moment, the fullness of the present moment, the enjoyment of the present moment. And if there's something that I've been looking at over the past year and a half now, it's that I've been reflecting on a decade plus back in my life and just realizing that I kind of wish that I could go back. I wish that I could go back and make things different, be more present because of the things that were going on, and also because that was a decade and a half of life. That's a long time. And life really does go by like that. And so last night's realization had me understanding that probably the most important thing is being present to the moment in life and just recognizing how incredible each moment is, how just beautiful the simplicity, the detail within the simplicity, and just how much I actually don't need. And it's fascinating too because I'm not going to stop pursuing the things that are beautiful to me, the things that I love. But what I am thinking that I'm going to do is instead just let go of trying to make things be a certain way or control or force, which is fascinating because that in and of itself is a dynamic that was familiar to me. Control, force, trying to push things, trying to make things happen rather than just letting go and allowing, stopping trying, stopping pursuing. When I say that, I don't mean letting go of my goals. I just mean stop thinking that everything needs to be a certain way. It doesn't. And when I stop trying, when I let go of this idea that things need to unfold in a very specific certain way, it actually opens me up to not only different ways of looking at things, but also just realizing that I can enjoy this moment. There's nothing about this moment that needs to be taken away. And not only that, but just recognizing how regulated I am now as compared to how dysregulated I was before. That's something that has really become apparent to me. For people that don't understand regulation, what I'm referring to is regulation of the nervous system, my nervous system, and how regulated it is now, how calm and grounded I am now as compared to how things were years ago. It's a fascinating journey. It really is. This present moment has so much to offer. And so oftentimes I get so uniformed in it. And it's not good or bad or right or wrong. I'm not here to be hard on myself for it. You see the look on my face. I'm smiling. I'm having a good time. It's exciting to be alive. It's exciting to be the age that I am and to realize these things at this age. I get so many comments from people on my YouTube channel saying, wow, how do you have this wisdom at the age you're at? And quite honestly, it's because I do a lot of introspection. I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of reflection and contemplation. I have a recognition for what it is that I want, and I'm not willing to settle. But I'm also letting go of control and force. I'm also considering much more expanded perspectives. something that I really want for myself moving forward is to stop wanting so much. Sounds paradoxical, right? Maybe the less that I want, life will do something different for me and it'll be interesting. But what reflecting on the past year and a half of like 10 plus years has done for me is that it has helped me to see that probably the most important thing moving forward is not only for me to be present to the moment, but it's also to unapologetically say no with absolutely zero anxiety, to say yes when I want to do what it is that I actually want to. A lot of people are very stuck because they're doing things that they don't want to. They're afraid to step away from something that they really don't want to because they're comfortable and it's familiar. And believe me when I say it, I have empathy and compassion for you. I understand. I understand what it feels like to be comfortable and familiar, to stay inside of a known, because stepping that way is scary, or stepping that way is scary. But you get to write the future. Every single decision that you're making in this moment creates the future. And maybe you're choosing to let go. Maybe you're choosing to be present to the moment and realizing the beauty of this moment. Like all the things that we think that we need, I think that it's really just a distraction. Material to take up mental space to distract you from maybe emotional pain that you could be looking at. I'm not here to tell you your life, by the way. I'm not. I'm just here to reflect on something that's been going on in my life recently that I think is absolutely fascinating. And it's funny too, because let me just go into something that I think is funny. This shirt that I'm wearing, it reminds me of a job that I used to work. I've been a server at least once in my life at a restaurant, and I love people. I'm a people person. I'm a total full-on people person. The funny thing is, there was a point in time in my life when I was a server, and I just wasn't really enjoying life, and it was because of where I was. And I'm not there anymore. But the reason I'm not there anymore is not just because I'm physically not there anymore. Mentally and emotionally, I'm not there anymore. I'm a totally different person mentally and emotionally today in 2024 than I was back in 2017. I think it was that I had that position. And it's just so fascinating how different life is. Back then, I was operating at a different level of conscious awareness. I was operating as, that's the funny thing. Like, I don't even remember. I'm a totally different person today. That it's like, just like the past Chris is so drastically different from the present Chris. And that's because of the work that I've done. That's because of the taking the time to be present with myself and slow life down and stop thinking about the things that I've been taught that I need to have, or even needing to have it all figured out. That's a fucking joke. Being present to this moment. Life is going to go by really fucking fast. And I think the most important thing is whether or not you're enjoying life, whether or not you're being congruent with yourself, your needs, your desires, and even like looking at your desires and realizing like, oh, okay, I can let all of that stuff go, and the likelihood that it'll work out better if I do let it go is much higher. Much higher. Being present to the moment, not being caught up in any ideas of the future and what it is that you think the future brings you, what it is that you think you need, questioning the hell out of what it is that you think you need. One of the biggest things that I've been looking at on my journey is just like recognizing, like, wait a second, I've been taught that I need that. I've been taught that I'm supposed to want that. Is there something wrong with me if I don't want that? Do I need to want the same thing or the same things as everyone else? My life has taken so many turns. You ever hear that saying where it's like, oh shit, that was not on my 2024 bingo card, or that was not on my life's bingo card. My life has taken so many fucking turns that I did not even expect or anticipate, and I'm just fucking here for it. It's so fucking cool. I'm learning like fucking crazy. I am realizing that I can just let go And the more I let go, the more it is that it's likely that something will happen. And I want to end off with this because I think it's really fucking important to understand. You might be chasing a future version of life, a future version of yourself, maybe. I personally believe that the most productive thing a person can do for themselves is not only take rest, because you're not a fucking machine, you're a human, but also choose yourself. No matter how many people tell you that it's selfish, no matter how many people tell you that you're selfish for choosing the route of getting to know yourself better, and actually, it doesn't matter what relationships you let go of, it doesn't matter what state or country or continent you move to, it doesn't matter. Like, as far as we know, this is it. Are you actually doing what you want to do? Because if you're not, why aren't you? And I can probably tell the future and tell you that you're going to regret it if you don't choose yourself. You have no obligations to anybody else. If you have a kid, that's a different story. If you have a pet, that's a different story. Other than that, you have no obligations to anybody else except the IRS for any money that you owe. I've really been reflecting on what it is that I actually want for my life, and I'm realizing that the things and the people that have fallen out of my life have fallen out of my life because they were not meant to be there. And when I used to think that they were meant to be there, I'm now seeing it for what it is, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, they really were not meant to be there. That would not have been compatible with what I want for my future. And a lot of it was just based on survival based dynamics where I thought that I needed the person. No, no. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I can tell you that if you don't choose yourself, if you don't choose to focus on yourself, you'll probably regret it. And by the way, the beauty of focusing on yourself is that when you do that, everything else just like falls into place. Like life puts pieces and parts in place for you when you focus on yourself. It's like, yeah, I want you to learn as much about yourself as you possibly can. I want you to do for yourself as much as you possibly can. Don't get caught up in the, oh, you're so selfish. No. Or just don't give them any more ammunition. Yeah, I'm the most selfish person on the face of this planet. Just fuck them. Like they don't matter. They don't matter. What matters first and foremost, I can tell you from my own personal experience, is overall personal enjoyment and happiness of life. And you're not going to get that playing by somebody else's rules or their plans. Put yourself first.